Hi, everybody, and welcome to English for You. I'm Pat.
And I'm Mike.
And today we're looking at our TOEIC article. So that's the kind of English you would see in the real world, in a business context, on real documents, and in real places. Now, you may remember last month, Mike and I were with a guy who was trying to get his phone fixed in a place called Royal Phones. Well, we're going to kind of continue on with some of the same story as this phone company is releasing a new phone. Mike, how often do you upgrade your phone, get a new one?
Oh, upgrading your phone. Yeah, buying the newest version. Maybe your phone's a little old. I guess the last time was 2 or 3 years ago. So maybe in another year or two. Maybe every 3, 4, 5 years, something like that. Of course, I've never lost a phone or broken a phone, so that's a good thing. But I guess every 4 or 5 years, your phone gets a little old or a new phone comes out and it's got all these wonderful new things. So you'll choose to upgrade your phone, basically get the newer version with the more modern features. So something like that. But phones are getting quite expensive these days. So maybe I will be upgrading not quite as often. How about you?
I basically wait until my phone is so old and slow and the makers don't even support it anymore that my wife gets so annoyed, she forces me to buy a new one because she could never borrow mine to use it because it's so bad.
I see.
But what about this new phone that's being released by Royal Phones? We're going to read through day one, which is part of what happens at the launch of the new phone. Let's check it out.
Reading. Dealing with questions at a product launch.
Royal Phones is holding a product launch for its latest phone.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'd like to introduce you to our latest model, the new Ultra Pro 101. Let me show off the brand new features of our cutting-edge smartphone. The biggest change is the screen. The 101 has a much sharper and brighter screen compared to its predecessor. The screen displays more lifelike colors.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Is it true that the Ultra Pro 101's camera has the same specifications as the previous model's camera?
Yes, that's correct. We were happy with the camera's performance, so there was no reason to change it.
There are also rumors that you've changed to a different camera manufacturer that uses cheaper parts. Is that correct?
Well, it's true that we have changed the manufacturer for the camera. However, we're satisfied the quality of the camera hasn't changed.
Did you change manufacturer to cut costs?
I'm afraid I can't answer that question.
Okay, so our article starts with a little bit of description. It says Royal Phones, that's the company, is holding a product launch for its latest phone. So launch as a noun is basically the event where a new item, a company's newest product, is officially introduced. Maybe there were a few little teasers before, maybe a few people got a look at it, but this is the here's our new phone, it's going to be available to buy soon, here's everything about it. I'm sure you guys have seen the Apple ones where they do a big launch of all the new stuff. It's that kind of thing. The word can be used as a verb as well. We're going to launch our new phone this summer, means we're going to make it available this summer and probably do one of these launch events.
And of course, people who want to buy the phone will be interested, and also people who write about new phones and new technology for newspapers or websites. They will all be there to get their first chance to see and maybe try the phones. And so from the company, we have someone who works there. It says the Royal Phones representative. This is a staff member or an employee of this Royal Phones company. And that's basically what a representative is in many cases. When we're talking about a company representative, They will probably work for the company, and they speak for the company. They will do business for the company. They will talk to people about the company, answer questions about the company. Other people who might have representatives might be famous people, politicians, governments, things like that. So if the top boss or certain people can't be there, the representative will speak for that person and do things for them, answer questions for them. They basically take the place of a person, a company, or an organization. For example, the singer's representative explained that the concert was canceled because the singer has a sore throat. So this might be the singer's manager or their agent or someone like that. Basically, if the singer can't be there to talk to people or answer questions, the representative will do it in his or her place.
So what does this representative have to say? Well, it's a pretty simple start to what's going on. They say, "Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon." So a pretty standard introduction. Then I'd like to introduce you to our latest model, the new Ultra Pro 101. So a model is just the newest version of a phone. So iPhone 5, 6, 7, all the way through to whatever we're on 12, I think, at the moment. They are all models of phones. So this Ultra Pro 101 is the newest model from Royal Phones.
And then the representative goes on to say, "Let me show off the brand new features of our cutting edge smartphone." As we said, this is something that people in the media, people from magazines, newspapers, websites, and also maybe people who want to buy the phone will be coming to see the new phone. So the representative, the company, will want to show off some of the brand new features, some of the new things that people might be interested or even excited about. And if you have something that you think people are interested or excited about, you might want to show that off. You might want to demonstrate it to them, show them all about it, make them kind of see it in an exciting way, kind of take their attention or bring their attention to special things, or interesting things, new things about it. So when you show off something, you're sort of kind of demonstrating it or presenting it in the best, most attractive way that you can think of.
So what are these cutting edge features? The representative says the biggest change is the screen. So they've got a new screen, the front bit, the bit you look at. He or she says the 101 has a much sharper and brighter screen compared to its predecessor. So sharper means you can see a lot more details. Presumably the resolution is higher. Maybe they've moved up to 4K or something like that. And a brighter screen means there's more brightness. That means you're going to get better colors and therefore, again, a clearer picture and more detail. And this is compared to its predecessor. When you compare two things or more, you're taking them, you're looking at them and going, well, which one is better? This is better at this, maybe this is better at something else. This one's cheaper, this one's heavier, this one's easier to carry, this one's got a better battery life. You're looking at the two things and making some critical judgments about what the advantages and disadvantages of each product are when you put them side by side. For example, you could say, Leslie tried on both colors of lipstick to compare them. She would have looked in the mirror and said, which one goes better with my clothes or eyes? Which one looks better on me? You know, by seeing them side by side, I can really make a judgment.
And a predecessor, well, that's basically just one or ones that came before this one. So when we're talking about phones, if this is the Ultra Pro 101, maybe the Ultra Pro 100 or the 99 or the 90 is the predecessor, the one that came before. Of course, America just elected a new president, Joe Biden, and his predecessor was Donald Trump, the president who came before the one that is there now, or the one that is there currently. So the phone that came before the Ultra Pro 101 is its predecessor, that older model.
Right. So what else do we see? The screen displays more lifelike colors, and that is a result of it being sharper and having a brighter screen. So lifelike here means like real life, like you would see with your eyes if you were walking around the street, looking at everything in a good light. And yeah, a big deal with movies and things like that is trying to make as much of the stuff in video games as well look like real life, not look like a fake kind of computer-created world. And so if you've got lifelike colors, people will really feel engaged. They'll feel like they're watching something happen in real life.
All right, next we move on in the dialogue to a reporter. So this is someone who is there watching this demonstration. And a reporter is someone who might, as we mentioned, work for a newspaper, a magazine, some kind of website that writes about 3C technology, new phones. They're there to ask questions and get information. So the reporter has a question, and before asking the question, they say, "Excuse me," or "Pardon me," or "I have a question," or something like that. And then back to the representative, the one from the company who is there to answer questions and give out information. So the representative says, "Yes," as in, "Okay, let me hear your question."
Okay, and what is that question? The article says, is it true that the Ultra Pro 101's camera has the same specifications as the previous model's camera? So what he's saying there is it the same camera? You know, this camera that was in the last model, is it also in this model? Meaning you've not changed it, you've not made it better, you've not made it any different. That's what we mean by specifications. Specifications, when we're talking about products, are a detailed description of the design, the materials, how big everything is, exactly what is used. It's almost like the recipe you follow for creating a product rather than making a meal, something like that.
That's right. And of course, when we have new phones, they want to talk about how good the camera is, how much memory it has, how long the battery lasts. All of those would be important specifications for people who want to buy the phone or thinking of comparing the phones to others. Often when we compare things, we do look at the specifications, the facts and data about a product that we're thinking of buying. And so basically they're saying, is it have the same specifications? Is it basically the same as the previous model's camera or as its predecessor's camera? Because previous and predecessor are similar in that they both mean one that came before. Something that is previous is just one that came earlier, all right? If we're talking about a day of the week on Tuesday, well, the previous day was Monday, the day that came before. So if something is previous to something, it is before or earlier in time. For example, next year, the World Cup finals will be in Qatar. The previous ones were in Russia. So yeah, World Cup 2022 will be in Qatar, or Qatar, as some people would pronounce it. The previous one, that would be 2018, that was in Russia, the ones that came before, the one that is coming up, or the one that is happening now.
So what does the representative say? Well, they confirm it and say, yes, that's correct. So the camera is the same. And they add, we were happy with the camera's performance, so there was no reason to change it. So they thought the camera was doing a great job. That's what we mean by its performance. How well does something perform? How well does it do its job? Is everybody happy with the camera and how it works, the pictures it takes? If its performance is good, if it's doing its job, then great, we don't need a new camera. We're not going to get a better one because the one we have is already doing everything we need it to do. That's what we mean by its performance. A phone's performance could also mean its battery life, you know, how well the screen lasts. It could mean how well it can survive a drop or connects to the internet or holds data, anything like that. It's all part of a phone's performance. Here's another example. After badly hurting his knee, the runner's performance was never quite as good as before. The runner just couldn't quite run so well. He was slower, maybe he couldn't accelerate so fast. The knee injury just made him not quite so good at running.
All right, so the camera's performance may be quite good, and that's why they use the same camera. But of course, if they're charging more money for the phone, even though it has the same camera, that might make people ask some questions. And I think that's kind of what the reporter is talking about here. And here's another tough question for the representative from the company. The reporter asks, there are also rumors that you've changed to a different camera manufacturer that uses cheaper parts. Is that correct? So they're basically saying, we're hearing that this is kind of the same camera as the one before in the phone, and maybe it's not made as well, it's made with cheaper parts. But again, is the price the same or even a little bit higher? This is what the reporter has heard. These are the stories or the rumors that are going around. So they're checking, is that correct? Is that true? Do you have an answer for this question? Again, this is something they're checking. They want to hear what the representative says, but this is what the rumors are. When we talk about rumors, it's very similar to the word gossip, G-O-S-S-I-P. We're hearing this, people are saying this. It might not be a fact, it might not be an official truth, but it's certainly what a lot of people are saying. And so when we hear rumors, it's kind of maybe a little exciting, a little surprising or shocking, might make you go, oh, really? Tell me more about it. I want to hear more about this rumor. And often reporters do make news based on rumors they hear that then might turn out to be actual truths or actual facts. Here's an exciting rumor in our example sentence. Did you hear the rumor about the president and the princess? There's a rumor about these two falling in love or something.
Wow, very nice.
Exciting.
Yeah. So this rumor is all about changing to a different manufacturer. To manufacture something means to make something, to basically produce it, normally in large amounts using machines in a factory, something like that. So a manufacturer is an organization, a company, or just a simple factory or workshop that produces, that makes, that manufactures a particular kind of item, some goods, some products. So what they're saying is, have you changed maybe to a different company in their factory who are using cheaper parts? Big question.
That is a big question, and the representative from the company has an answer. The representative tells the reporter, well, it's true that we have changed the manufacturer for the camera. So that part of the rumor is true. We're not working with the same camera company that used to make the cameras. We found a new company that makes the little cameras for our phones. However, the representative goes on to say, but we're satisfied. The quality of the camera hasn't changed. So company B is now making the cameras instead of company A, basically, but we're satisfied. We're happy. We're quite confident that the quality of the camera hasn't changed. So yes, they're coming from a different place, but we feel that the camera is just as good as it was before, even though they might be using cheaper parts. But I guess if it doesn't affect quality, then people buying the phone can still feel comfortable that they're getting a good phone with a good camera, because the quality of something, this noun is how good something is. When you pay a lot of money for something, you expect better quality. If you spend very little on something or buy the cheapest version of something, you might not expect the quality, how well it's made, how long it will last, how well it will do its job. You might not expect the quality to be quite as good. So quality is basically how well something's made, how long it will last, how happy you'll be, and maybe how expensive it might be as well. For example, I'm pretty unhappy with the quality of this diet ice cream. It tastes horrible. Instead of putting in lots of creamy milk and stuff, they put in water and it just doesn't taste very good. Poor quality ice cream is always disappointing.
Yeah, that is the worst. So the reporter is then, you kind of saying, you didn't really answer my question there. You didn't completely give me an answer. So he asks it again, more directly. Did you change manufacturer to cut costs? did you switch to this other company so that you could spend less money and therefore make a bigger profit, even though the camera is the same camera? So what does the representative have to say?
Well, the representative says, I'm afraid I can't answer that question. Ooh, so if they say that they're afraid they can't answer that question, basically, they're a representative for the company. They might not be the top boss, and maybe the top boss told them, don't answer that question. Don't give out those sort of secrets of the company. I guess as a reporter, I might think that that means, yes, they did change manufacturer to cut costs, but they're not actually saying yes. They're not actually saying no. They're just saying, I can't tell you. I'm afraid I can't answer that question. Here, when we say I'm afraid, it's not like I'm scared of something, like I'm afraid of spiders or I'm afraid of ghosts. We're just kind of saying in a polite way, I'm really sorry, I can't answer that question. I know you might be disappointed. This might not be what you want to hear, but I can't really answer that question. I apologize. But yeah, I think that means yes.
Well, we'll read a bit more about that on day 2 when we hear more from this company's team. But right now we're going to go to today's For You chat question.
For You chat.
So our chat question is something that a lot of businesses have to think about. Should companies focus on making high quality products or on being able to sell many products at a low cost to customers? And we want to explain this answer and give some reasons.
Well, that's a tough question.
I would say a company could do either and be very successful. A company could make its name and its brand by selling very high quality products at a high price, or they could make their name being able to sell a lot of things cheaply. One thing maybe they shouldn't try to do is do both, because if they have a reputation for selling lots of cheap products and then they go, look, a high quality product, honest, then people will go, oh, hang on, all your other stuff's cheap. It's okay. It's not great. So how are we supposed to believe you're suddenly making this high quality stuff? That's not what you're known for.
Exactly. If they make it very clear to the customer that this type of product is going to be high quality and expensive, and this one is lower quality and cheaper, that might be fine. But you're right, Pat. Sometimes the problem is they get a little tricky about this. They make something high quality for a while, and then they switch to making it low quality, but they don't tell you and they don't lower the price. So people think, oh, this is a famous company, well known for its high quality products, and they might be paying the price for a high quality product, but they're actually getting a low cost product.
No, not very honest tactics there. Some interesting food for thought. So what did Royal Phones do? Well, we're going to find out in tomorrow's lesson. Do join us again for that. For now, it's time to say goodbye. Bye.
Take care.
Vocabulary Review.
Representative. Mike's job as a representative requires a lot of talking to the public for his company. Compare. I don't think this album is that great compared to the musician's last album. Previous. Mark likes his current job as an artist more than he liked his previous job as a waiter. Performance. My new motorcycle has much better performance than my old one. It really is a lot faster. Rumor. We heard a rumor that Lisa was dating Ryan, but it was not true. Quality. The quality of this beef is great. I'm sure it will taste really good.
智慧小补帖
Launch. Predecessor. Specification. Manufacturer.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000，02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net，www.english4u.net。